Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Garcia and today I'll be presenting Chapter 22, Exercise Programming for Clients with Spinal Cord Injury, Multiple Sclerosis, Epilepsy, and Cerebral Palsy. So I decided to review all 4 neurological disorders from this chapter because learning about them can help educate more people who may have family members, friends, or peers living with one of these conditions. And understanding these disorders also helps us become better fitness professionals by learning how to safely adapt exercise programs to meet each client's individual needs. For the chapter overview, I want to briefly describe each condition. We'll start off with spinal cord injury. A spinal cord injury happens when the spinal cord is damaged, causing a loss of movement, feeling, or both below the injured area. The effects depend on where the injury occurs, with higher injuries usually causing more severe limitations. The next neurological disorder is multiple sclerosis, also known as MS. It's an autoimmune disease where the body's immune system attacks the protective covering around the nerve fibers. This makes it harder for the brain and body to communicate, which can lead to symptoms like fatigue, muscle weakness, balance problems, and vision changes. The next 2 neurological disorders are epilepsy and cerebral palsy, also known as CP. For epilepsy, it is a neurological disorder that causes repeated seizures because of abnormal electrical activity in the brain. Seizures can vary from brief staring spells to full body convulsions or shaking. For cerebral palsy, it is caused by damage to the developing brain before or shortly after birth. It mainly affects movement, posture, and muscle control. Even though the brain injury doesn't worsen over time, symptoms like muscle stiffness or weakness can become more noticeable if they aren't managed properly. Each neurological disorder has different signs and symptoms. For spinal cord injury, SCI, common symptoms include paralysis, loss of sensation, muscle weakness, and difficulty controlling the bladder or bowels. And it can also depend on how severe the injury is. Next is multiple sclerosis. Many people experience fatigue, muscle weakness, numbness, balance problems, and vision changes. As you can see, each neurological disorder is very different, so you can't just put them in you can't put all of them in one category. People with epilepsy experience repeated seizures, which may include loss of consciousness, muscle jerking, and confusion afterwards. I have a picture of the ribbon for Epilepsy Awareness Month, which is November. And to spread awareness, you could wear purple shirts or anything purple to bring conversation to it. For cerebral palsy, common symptoms include muscle stiffness, weakness, poor balance, and difficulty walking or performing coordinated movements. Since every client is different, trainers should always consider each person's individual abilities before designing an exercise program. Next are some really common risk factors for each neurological disorder. First being spinal cord injury. They are mostly caused by traumatic events such as motor vehicle accidents, falls, sports injuries, or violence. The severity of the injury depends on the location and extent of damage to the spinal cord. For multiple sclerosis, the exact cause is unknown, but it is considered an autoimmune disease in which the immune system attacks the nervous system. A combination of genetic and environmental factors is believed to increase the risk of developing MS. Epilepsy can develop from brain injuries, infections, strokes, or other neurological conditions. Although some cases have no known cause, factors such as sleep deprivation, stress, illness, and flashing lights may trigger seizures in some individuals. Lastly, we have cerebral palsy. It results from damage to the developing brain before, during, or shortly after birth. Premature birth complications during delivery or infections affecting the brain can increase the risk of CP, as I stated in the previous slide. We have evidence-based exercise recommendations and modifications. Even though these conditions are different, research shows that exercise can benefit all 4 populations. For spinal cord injury, exercises like wheelchair propulsion, swimming, and hand cycling help improve cardiovascular fitness while strengthening the shoulders. Clients with multiple sclerosis should exercise in cooler environments and avoid overheating. For epilepsy, it is generally safe to exercise, but trainers should monitor seizure triggers and medication side effects. And for cerebral palsy, exercise focuses on improving strength, balance, flexibility, and overall function. Next slide we have is safety and legal considerations. Safety should always come first no matter what neurological disorder you have. So trainers working with spinal cord injury clients should monitor blood pressure and watch for autonomic dysreflexia. People with multiple sclerosis should avoid overheating and may need workouts adjusted depending on how they feel that day. For trainers working with epilepsy, they should know seizure first aid and never place anything in the client's mouth during a seizure. For cerebral palsy, exercises should be modified according to the client's mobility level while using proper supervision. And I really like this picture I included with the helmet and the judge's mallet because it just perfectly describes this slide, I guess. It has safety and legal considerations. So let's go on to the next slide. Practical application strategies for fitness professionals. So as future fitness professionals, our goal isn't to help people just exercise. It's to help them function better in everyday life. And I'm sure many other students in my class want to become physical therapists, which is what I want to become also, and occupational therapists. And I find this very true to not just think it's only to help people exercise, because they need to have a better life in the everyday world. So we might need to modify equipment, schedule sessions around fatigue, create emergency action plans, or adjust exercises to improve independence. Every exercise program should be individualized and focused on helping the client safely reach their goals. We have spinal cord injury. You could adapt equipment for wheelchair users, emphasize upper body strength and functional independence. For multiple sclerosis, we have schedule workouts earlier in that day, allow extra rest breaks, and keep sessions flexible. For epilepsy, also have an emergency action plan, create a safe workout environment, and educate clients about seizure triggers. And for cerebral palsy, we could focus on exercises that improve daily activities, use positive encouragement, and progress exercises at the client's pace. To wrap everything up, I wanted to give some key takeaways from my PowerPoint. The first one being, every client should be treated as an individual because these conditions affect everyone differently. Exercise programs should always be tailored to the client's needs while keeping safety the top priority. When done correctly, exercise can make a significant difference in improving both health and overall quality of life. And I really like this picture I included because it shows everyone just happy, working out, making exercise a daily routine in their life, and trying not to let their symptoms affect them. I decided to add some frequently asked questions for engagement with the viewers. So the first question I have is, why is exercise beneficial for people with spinal cord injuries, multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, and cerebral palsy? So my answer for that would be, exercise improves strength, endurance, mobility, independence, and overall quality of life. It can also reduce the risk of secondary health conditions when done safely. The second common question people get with these conditions is, what should a fitness professional do if a client has a seizure during the exercise? So this is very important. My answer would be, stay calm, protect the client from injury, do not restrain them or put anything in their mouth, turn them onto their side after the seizure ends, and seek emergency medical help if the seizure is prolonged or if it's their first seizure. If anyone has any additional questions, feel free to comment them down below in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them. My works cited, I mainly used the book we got, which helped a lot with any information I needed, especially since it had the index tab And I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my presentation. I hope it gave you a better understanding of how exercise can be safely adapted for clients with spinal cord injuries, multiple sclerosis, epilepsy, and cerebral palsy. I appreciate your time and have a great day. I hope your presentation went well also.